somehow met Pratik and other co-founders at Revamp and started Revamp. I'm really excited to welcome you on our LinkedIn Live. And Revamp Moto does not need any introduction. Probably the first crorepati of Shark Tank, of course.
Yeah,
everybody knows them. Prime time Shark Tank, has really been a successful for all of us. So welcome, Jayesh, to the event. Really kind of you to spare some time in your busy schedule to join us.
Thank you so much, Govind. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone, who's ever is present on this dice. And thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Great.
So, yes, Govind, please take it forward.
Yeah. So, Jayesh, first of all, congratulations on the success. While, a lot of people may feel that, with a 100 crore valuation, it's end game for any startup, but we all know it's just a start, and probably, real excitement starts really now, and the most challenging part of the startup starts now when you have really money in the bank.
Exactly.
My intention for 30-minute, 20-minute, whatever we have today is to just help you understand what is your plan with the Revamp Motor journey forward. What are the great things that you are doing now? Some interesting questions which I got, lot of questions from my team and lot of people that I talk to who are not really startup people, but they really want to understand some bit behind scenes things on Shark Tank. So I'll keep it very open conversation. I also invite questions from our participant on our live audiences as well. So please feel free, all of you, to post your questions. I'll be very happy to pose this question to Jayesh. So Jayesh, my first question would be that how the team is handling all this media attention, on the social media, on all the news channel. Revamp Motor is talked about. Now the pressure is more to deliver.
Exactly.
What's going on in the team?
Yeah.
How is it after Shark Tank?
Yeah. So I would like to say that yes, Shark Tank has been a very good platform for us. For example, if I just say numbers, we have grown like 3x just after the Shark Tank in terms of funding, in terms of business, in terms of marketing. Marketing has been a very huge stuff for us. And as you explained, बहुत difficult हो रहा है to handle the media stuff, because that's the reason that even like alone I'm attending this meet, or else my co-founders would have joined in this particular meet, but they are handling some other media and I'm handling with you. So that is how it has grown. So Shark Tank, I will say, is according to the numbers, we have like 3.5 crore views along with some billion views from all the YouTube channels, landing order of 15-20,000 vehicles in hand. Then a aggressive team coming in of like 35-40 members, funding round getting overshooted. So that is how the journey is now there with Revamp Moto. And to talk about media handles, yes, so like pan India level, people are considering among the top 10 EVs as Revamp Moto, and that's a very proud feeling for us. So it's all about execution. We have created our name in the ecosystem, but it's all up to the execution and delivery part. That is what the entire team is focusing on.
Great. I can understand the challenge of execution is always the more than the idea, right? So thank you for telling us and being candid about it. So what's your biggest challenge considering with the equity dilution and lot of media attention? At least some area of marketing and fund is covered now. As a startup, it's good to have money in the bank, but it's now the work starts. So what is your current challenge in terms of execution, in kind of shaping and delivering the orders now?
Yeah, so as we all know, we are into the hard tech manufacturing business. So basically, yes, we have funds in hand, we have orders in hand. It's all up to the execution and delivery part. Thanks to our previous experiences from the automobile background, and we are well versed aware of all the industrial standards and processes that we have to go through. And like every company has to go through this process. That are some mandatory processes that we have to go, and then only your product is good to go to the market. So what we are trying to do is, first of all, to bring very aggressive timeline there into the market. We are doing some parallel industrial standardizations and processes. For example, right from infrastructure development to product getting certified and homologated, right, and even pilot projects. So all these 3 to 4 stuffs are getting parallelly done so that we can complete our timeline well in advance. So that is how at Revamp Moto we are doing. And we are trying to find out how best possible manner for getting the product delivered as early as possible, because everyone in the electric vehicle is of the view key there is a lot of demand in the market, but the supply is of not that gradual nature. Supply is not there in the market. So it's up to us ki hum jitna jaldi deliver kare, then utna jaldi like we will able to grab the market. So the everything is on execution and we are doing it parallelly. So infrastructure, let's say product development, pilot projects, homologation and certification, and even legal and consulting. So all the things are getting done in parallel.
Sure. So that you are already doing in Nasik, and अभी कोई नई facility भी आप लोग create कर रहे हैं या I think one of the great feeling which I kind of got from Revamp Motor that it's not always about a startup from a Bangalore or from Pune or from Mumbai.
Exactly.
It's also that you being working in Nasik, so you're planning to expand your operations within Nasik, or you're planning other cities as well. What's your plan around it?
So the plan is basically thanks to government of Maharashtra as well, because recently, if everyone must have seen the tweets or the news coming in, we are supported by government of Maharashtra, and even other governments have shown a very keen interest in getting a manufacturing facility over there. Now we are of the point that we want to develop our tier 2 city as Nasik. That is one of the key ethical values that we have decided, that we are not going to Mumbai or Bangalore in the initial days. We want to develop Nasik as a whole ecosystem, and government of Maharashtra is showing very, very keen interest in doing so, right it from infrastructure availability to its development to its compliance at every part of it. So right now we will be having our infrastructure facility based out of Nasik. Parallelly, we are also looking for some contract manufacturers or some other manufacturing facilities based out of pan-India basis. Let's say for the south, for the east, in that particular manner. That is our strategy. But yes, starting off will be from Nasik itself.
Great, great. Yeah, I saw a recent visit by Mr. Aditya Thackeray and everyone. So that was really good that, with all the media and everything, at least, politically also that you are getting a better environment for doing business. So that's really great. Now, are you, when you saying and scaling up in this process, as you said, you are also talking with other contract manufacturers. Are you looking for a specific kind of people or startups who can be part of your journey? Because you as you said, there is a lot of order that you need to scale very, very quickly. So a lot of audience are watching or will be watching this video on our channels. So what would be your message? What kind of people that you are looking for? If you can give us some more insights on those areas, it may reach to right people and they can contact you. So
100%. So basically, we know that as being an OEM, Revamp Moto can't do every particular stuff. So we are always open to people who are empowering. So Revamp Moto's vision is to empower the society. So whoever is coming and empowering Revamp, we are always open to that particular guys. Might it be from manufacturing facilities to getting it delivered, even the distribution and sales channel in that particular cities. Initially, though, we are focused on B2B businesses, but we are aligning our sales and distribution channel for B2C sales after 5 to 6 months down the line as well. But we are not very specific that we want, let's say, support in that particular stuff. We are open. If you are interested in manufacturing, if you are interested in sales and distribution, if you are interested in dealership, distributorship, service, or even online sales as well, or let's say end mile delivery of particular product. So we are getting a lot of leads regarding all this stuff. Anyone is there from that specific backgrounds, we are open to have a discussion and collaborate. So that is, I would like to add from Revamp Moto.
Yeah. Great. And so what do you think is still currently unsolved problem in EV space? Of course, charging being one. So what's your view on that? What are some of the unsolved problems you see in the EV ecosystem in India?
So that was a very, let's say, a big point in India is related to the infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, it is in two terms. One is charging infrastructure, and the second model coming in is battery as a service or battery as subscription model. And thanks to again government of India in the recent budget, they introduced the standardization in charging. Though initially it was standardized, but they introduced standardization in battery as a swapping model or battery as a service model as well. And I guess so that is a very huge decision that they have taken. Once everything is getting standardized, then and then only the aggressive adoption of electric vehicles will bring in, because we know that currently we have an let's say infrastructure of 1 lakh to 1,20,000 petrol pumps, or let's say fuel stations in India. for electric vehicle to boost at that particular level, we need 4 lakh, let's say stations, might it be charging stations or swapping stations there in India. If the infrastructure is good part, then and then only the EV adoption will increase, because range anxiety is the biggest problem there in India. People are very nervous regarding the range of electric vehicles. So if we are able to solve that problem, then I guess no one can stop from getting the technology change.
Sure. So what, in your view, which is more feasible for India as a ecosystem, swapping or charging, or will they coexist?
Yeah. So basically, I always like to answer this question, and India is a very huge market with a very diversified use cases. Let's say urban mobility is there, rural mobility is there, there is end-mile delivery is there, people are using the bike for businesses and all this stuff. So I will definitely say this both of the solutions will coexist, and let's say battery as a service model will work for people those who don't require any downtime in their businesses. For example, if we allot this battery swapping model for end mile delivery, or let's say for B2B businesses, these guys will definitely prefer, because downtime in that particular case will be lesser, and as a whole is their ecosystem. So what was happening in battery as a service model, initially the battery used to be owned by the customer and the customer was reluctant to swap the battery. So that was a problem. But now battery companies taking the liability of that particular component, people are okay with the swapping model as well. So I will say yes, both of the solutions will coexist. Battery as a swap model will work more on the B2B side, or where the downtime required is very less. In case of normal urban commuting, charging will still be an option, because people are not using that bike on a very, let's say, frequent basis. So in that particular case, charging will also be an option. So I will say both the solutions will coexist.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, my last question in more, conversation of business is that, when any new technology or new revolution happens, be the smartphone in the past, a lot of times, a lot of, Indian local, ecosystem develops, and then somebody from China or somewhere else, and, kind of swarms the market with a cheaper product or so. Do you see that happening in EV as well, that the market will consolidate and will be dominated by few players? It could be new or old, but do you see that consolidation anytime soon, or it's going to take a lot more years than we anticipate?
Yeah. So talking about that, so we have already analyzed. So there are more than 800 EV companies in India, and the thing that you are talking about, it's there in initial basis. So how EV adoption started is with the vehicles coming from China itself. Right. But it's thanks to government of India that they realized that this will create a very huge economic gap between India and China, because automobile market is a huge market based out of India, and if we are giving it to some other countries, it will be very huge problem for us. So you can see it was initially FAME 1 subsidies, followed by FAME 2 subsidies, FAME 2 subsidies being more aggressive on the indigenous let's say companies or indigenous startups. So that is how it's going. And considering the huge push from government of India, the cost benefit from Indian companies is huge as compared to the Chinese part. And we have already started seeing the impact of that FAME 2 subsidy in Indian ecosystem. So yeah, basically Indian market is huge, very huge. So even here, players will coexist, but definitely there will be an upper hand for indigenous companies. That is what we feel.
Sure, great. No, thank you, Jayesh, for telling a lot of these interesting insights. I'm sure a lot of EV folks who are watching this going to be really benefited by all your insights. Now, let me shift us some gears and let me deliver what I promised my audience today, that we'll talk about Shark Tank journey also. So let me start this like a rapid fire round. Some questions which anybody would ask, when we talk about Shark Tank. So shall I go ahead and do it?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So, Jayesh, when did the process really start for Shark Tank for you? When did this start?
So Shark Tank is a huge process. It's not just a simple 1 or 2 process level. The journey started in July. So it was like in the July, it was just a simple form, 2 to 3 pager form that we have to submit. Then they received 80,000 applications from the form 1. Then there was a form 2. In the form 2, it was a very detailed business plan along with the background, along with all the team members, description and everything. It was a form of like 10 to 15 pages that we have to fill and give it to them. In that particular form only, we have to decide our pitch, what our pitch would be, okay, how much we are going to ask for, how much equity. After that comes is the audition. So on the audition, it's like you go in front of some judges, pitch your idea to them, and they see the confidence, the product, the level of maturity, exactly is the business viable or not. They also consider some due diligence. Once we are selected in that, then we have a final shoot and in front of the sharks. So that is how the process would be. And I guess sooner or later, this Shark Tank season 2 will be there by somewhere around like March and April. Even some of the startups did had a chance to pitch in this particular season. There was some extended pitches that they guys introduce. Now it will be mostly in the Shark Tank season 2. So it will start somewhere in June. That is what we feel.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And how did you find out about the Shark Tank? I mean, did you kind of found within your network, or of course now everybody will apply for Shark Tank, but it was the first season, so not everybody knew that it started. So how did you find about it?
Yeah. So I guess more entrepreneurs are joining these sessions, and I guess majority of them are startup enthusiasts. So even our journey started with watching Shark Tank ABC. That was our dream, that we want to go on Shark Tank and pitch it to the investors. So we were well versed with the updates from Shark Tank ABC, and जैसे ही Instagram, like it was the first post of Instagram coming in that Shark Tank is coming to India, and we were updated and we started tagging Revamp Moto on that first post. So that is how the journey started. So I guess many followers of Shark Tank ABC would have known that Shark Tank is coming to India also. So that is how we got updated regarding Shark Tank.
Great. That's great. And now, a lot of people say that, a lot of creative pitches that people do in Shark Tank. Do you guys design or they help you? A lot of people say it's scripted to some extent. What's your feedback, or what's your experience around that?
Yeah, so it's a very huge myth. The script is, let's say the pitch is scripted and the entire pitch, let's say from investors and the founder side is scripted. But I would like to say it's not at all scripted. It's just that you get just one chance to go in front of them and pitch to the investors. Yeah, why our pitch was so confident? Because we already had pitched to other investors there in the market. We have already gone through 10, 15 investor pitches. And basically they do some rehearsals. It's not a scripted one. It's like whatever pitch that you have decided, we just get 3 minutes to pitch in front of them. That is the specialty of Shark Tank. So whether the pitch is getting featured in 3 minutes or not, that is what they test. But it's not at all scripted. You just get one chance to pitch in front of them. If you perform well, you get the investment. If you don't perform well, then you know the journey. So that is how it works.
Great. And how many rehearsal and mock pitches they kind of make you do before the real pitch, or is it like, okay, just go ahead and do it? I mean, does it really go through some process as well?
It's like a simple one. So these guys have their creative team and they have the responsibility whether these guys are confident. Because see, when we go to the Shark Tank, it's like 10 to 15 cameras facing you, and definitely anyone will fear of stage is there. So they just check whether the confidence is good or not, and that too backstage, not in the actual tank. They have shown our tank just 1 hour before our pitch. Yes, this is the tank. This will be the cameras. You have to stand over here. Here is your product. And they never revealed the entire tank also. So they keep it very secretive because that is what startup founders should have. So they wanted to check the confidence. So we just had 1 or 2 rehearsal pitches, and the rehearsal pitches were also off the stage, checking the confidence of founders. When it's good to go, then it was directly in front of investors.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And what do you say? Is there any drawback of getting this kind of publicity as well, or it's all good? Have you got some bad news or something bad also along with the package of good publicity?
I will say not so specifically always whether it's a good marketing or a bad marketing. It's every time it's beneficial for the company. So the marketing has been, let's say the media presence that we have got has always helped Revamp Moto. growing us 2x, 3x. But yes, there has been some controversial situations as well that we have to handle, and I guess Arctic IPs that handle it well. So, but yes, I guess on every, let's say on broad level perspective, it's beneficial for us.
Great. No, that's great. And how is the post commitment process? I mean, how's of course, those checks they give is more like a token anyways. How is the process after the commitment? Is it a long process or it's a short process? How has been your experience with that?
So I will say it's very good. So we also weren't aware that this would go so fast. We were committed a time of almost 3 months after the shooting date. But right after the 15 to 20 days of our shoot, we got a mail from Aman and Anupam from their particular team that we are starting with the process. So it's like a normal any funding procedure there in the market. First of all, they do the due diligence, then they check the founders. Again, they have a pitch, but yes, it's confirmed that once on the stage that you have got the deal, you will get the deal. Just whatever you have pitched on the shark, let's say on the tank, you have some solid documentation for the same. That is what they check. And once that's done, the funding round is closed. So it's not a very complex or complicated or a very huge process. It's a normal, simple process as there in the market.
Sure. And during the process, I'm sure you must have met all the other startups who may have qualified to the final level or telecasted. Some of them may not have telecasted, of course, like you said, or may be coming in the season 2, or may not be able to get to the final pitch. How was your experience with them? I mean, I'm sure it must have been a really great experience talking with other startups. How was your experience as networker there in the Shark Tank?
So it's been a good part. On our pitch day, we had like 10 to 12 startups. But after that, Shark Tank family has grown a lot. So there are like 198 pitches on Shark Tank, and every one of us is connected either on LinkedIn or WhatsApp groups or informally. Even we have meetups in their particular cities. So every 198 pitch is connected to each other startup there in the market. And this networking has helped us a lot because we have solved each other's problem. We have brought businesses, we have brought very good connects, and we are closely connected to each and every one. So every day we have conversation with all the startups, the entire updates, and like we are connected to 100 unicorns which will be there in the next 4 to 5 years. So that's a very good networking stuff for
that's
us.
Great. That's I think that's really great to hear. And I understand that what pitches that we see on the television is kind of edited. And so was your pitch was also like 5-10 minutes, or was it really longer and they kind of showed us the good part of it?
No, so I will say the pitch was 1 hour long. So 1 hour, I guess 15 minutes long. So we had a lot of question answers, a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of fights, and a lot of good things also coming in. Finally, it's an updated version, but I guess in our pitch, they have covered a lot. They have covered all the bytes from the entire pitch. So that is how they done, because there is a time limit of 20 to 25 minutes to show on the television. So that's the reason. But pitch was almost 1 hour, 15 minutes long.
Oh, okay. So because we thought that, in 3 minutes they decide, but now I kind of get to understand that, it's a 1 hour pitch and then you basically answer a lot of questions. They may edit some questions, they may not edit some questions.
Exactly.
All right. So I think I have this final question, and I know a lot of work to be done at Revamp. So I'll let you go with this final question. What would be your advice to all our listeners and aspiring to pitch at Shark Tank? How should they approach the entire Shark Tank, pitch, or right from the form 1 to form, to the pitch tank? What would be your advice to them?
First of all, basically this is an first time Shark Tank is coming in, so they are bringing in very good surprising stuff as well, because like no one was aware that the pitches are going to be extended for a week if everyone is watching the Shark Tank. So 1 week was extended, and some startups were called on directly from television that we are extending our pitch. If anyone still want to register, they can register. So might be even Shark Tank will come up with surprises ki we are coming with a limited edition, or let's say wildcard entries or something like that. So I will say that everyone should be well updated with Shark Tank, either from social media platforms or website or LinkedIn, anything stuff like that. And secondly is what to consider is Shark Tank season 1 had 80,000 applications. Now you can imagine how much Shark Tank season 2 is going to be there and the competitiveness over there. So I will say is, first of all, whatever you are taking over there, you have already seen the entire Shark Tank. You know what the investors are looking up to, what are the specific things that they are looking into the founders and startups. So I would say you need to do your homework very, very well, because Shark Tank season 2 का जो selection होगा that is going to be way difficult than Shark Tank season 1. So you need to have very factual answers. You need to have your business plan sorted. And lastly is your confidence that you show on the Shark Tank, because everyone who was there on the pitch, let's say on the stage, appreciated our confidence there on the Shark Tank. And even we have seen pitches like Jugadu Kamlesh being from a very village background, still he could pitch it confidently and get an investment from Piyush Bansal. So that is what I will say. You should have confidence whenever you are pitching on the Shark Tank.
Great.
Yeah.
I think hopefully not very soon people start coaching business on how to pitch on Shark Tank.
That is also good business coming in.
Yeah, because it's like a selection in IIT, like, that much is the success rate. If we are talking about 80,000 applications and 200 selections, so of course it's as tough as UPSC exams in India, right? So exactly. I can imagine the kind of competitiveness. But thank you, Jayesh, for all your answers. Thank you for your time. And to all our listeners, any questions I would be able to take, but no questions so far. But Jayesh, I'll keep asking these questions, and maybe on post I'll be asking these questions later. But thank you so much for your time today. With all the technical glitches we faced, but we finally managed to get it done. Thank you for your time, and we wish all the good luck and all the best wishes to Revamp. Of course, I'm sure it will change the face of the electric vehicle in India. Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So even if there are any questions, we are quite approachable on LinkedIn or even our mail or contact numbers. So feel free to contact us. That is not a worry. So we are happy to answer all the questions. And thanks, Govind, for again giving this opportunity to speak about our Shark Tank journey. We definitely want to empower the startup ecosystem in India. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayesh.